Today we are going to talk about drivability in sequential circuits and what are the limitations of time frame expansion method. We know that drivability is nothing but measure of effort to drive a fault on a line to the primary output. It depends upon the combinational controllabilities, which we already know how to compute using SQAP analysis. Okay, what is the measure? Higher is the value of drivability means more will be the effort or more difficult it is to drive the fault from that line towards the output. And since it is depending upon the combinational controllability, its value can never be zero. It is always between 1 and infinity. So I'll start with a very simple example of an AND gate, okay, before we switch on to a bigger circuit. So this is my simple AND gate. So in this, I have taken two inputs, A and B, and I've already mentioned their controllabilities. These controllabilities are indicating first entry in this parenthesis is the combinational controllability for zero input, and the second is for input 1. Okay. Now in my this AND gate, let's suppose that we are having a fault at the input line A. Okay. So drivability, when we say drivability is always is the measure of D0. If I'm giving the input 0, it is getting propagated as 1, or I'm giving the input 1, it is getting propagated as 0. Because derivability हम एक fault की बात करते हैं, तो fault is only when I'm giving 0, it is going as 1. I'm giving 1, it is going as 0. Okay, so it is always measured as D0 oblique 1 or D1 oblique 0. So let's say if I have to measure the drivability of this fault. Okay, so in that case, if I'm going to measure the drivability of the fault when input applied is 0, but it is getting propagated as 1. So what does this mean? This means we are applying 0, it is getting propagated as 1. In our case, A line is already having stuck at 1. Means whatever input I give, 0 or 1, it is stuck at 1 only. It is going to give the input as 1 only. Propagation is 1 only. So it means 0 to 1 drivability fault. That is same as the combinational controllability of applying 0 at A. Is it clear? Yes. So, matlab, whenever I will give 0, it will be propagated as 1. Because my line is already having stuck at 1. Okay. So, this is simply equal to the combinational controllability of applying 0 input at A, which is nothing but given to us as 2. Now, what is the other possible fault? That I'm applying 1 at my input A and it is getting propagated as 0. So if we apply 0, that is propagated as 1, which is not the case because my A line is already stuck at 1. So if I apply 1, then also it is going to give 1 only. It is not going to change to 0. So there is no fault. So that means there is no such fault, and so drivability of such a fault at this line is infinity. I hope we are clear now. Yes? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Only A के लिए check कर रहे हैं मैम हम यहाँ पे.
हाँ जी.
Only A point पे ही check कर रहे हैं.
हाँ, because of a line, we have to check whether at a particular node or a line there is a fault. वो fault how it is going to go towards the output. Okay. So fault has to be defined on some particular line. Then only we can measure the how difficult is it कि it is going to go to the output. Okay.
Okay.
So now we see that this fault at A, that is going to get propagated at C. How? So the drivability of this fault when 0 is applied and it is propagating as 1, it is going to be same because this is AND gate. Okay. So if A is having a fault, that would be propagated to C provided that my other input B, that is a non-controllable input. Now non-controllable input for AND gate is what? 1. So I am setting, so one parameter for this is, it requires my B to be set to 1. So if B is set to 1, what is the combinational controllability of setting B to 1? That is given to me as 4, as indicated in this pink color here below. So it is 4. 1 is added for the depth. And since we are propagating the fault on the line A towards C, so the drivability of this fault at A. So these 3 values, they will contribute to tell me what is the drivability of this fault at C from A. So that gives me what? 2 is the value we computed for drivability of A, 1 is for depth, and 4 is the conditional combinational controllability of input B setting as 1. So that gives me 7. So are we clear on this now?
मैम रिपीट करना है वाला एक बार सी पे.
Okay. See, in this case, what we want is, I want the fault which is there at line A. Whatever is the value at A, that should be propagated to C. Then only it is going towards the output. Tabhi fault is going to traverse from input towards output. Yes. So if I want that status of A should be going to C, what do I require is that my other input, which is B in this case, that should be a non-controlling input. And non-controlling input for AND gate is always 1, because agar A 0 hoga, तो output would be C. If A, output would be 0. If A is 1, output would be 1. Simple. So based on that logic, one condition for that is that my B input, it is set to 1. So that includes the parameter combinational controllability of B as 1, which is nothing but 4. 1 is added for depth, and since I want the fault from A to go towards C, I will take the same drivability of A. I'll carry forward that, because that is what is going to travel here. So that is drivability of this fault at A. So these 3 add up together to give me what is the effort required at point C for this fault to be propagated from A towards C. Are we now clear on this?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am. Yes.
Good. So what is the drivability of fault 1 to 0 at C? It is also going to come through line A only. So line A pe what was the drivability of this fault 1 to 0? That was infinity. So in this case also it is going to be infinity only. Clear?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
now we come for a simple sequential element. Sequential element may we consider a simple D flip-flop. So whatever is at the input, that is going to go at the output. Okay. So suppose I have a stuck-at fault at my input line which is coming, and it has the controllabilities as 2 and 3. 2 is for CC0 and 3 is for CC1. Okay. So in case of sequential circuit, the simple rule is that input is going to be propagated as output. Whatever is the drivability of a fault at input, that is simply going to pass towards the output with no change, but a sequential depth has to be added. Now that depth is not 1 in this case. That depth is, so that depth is 100. It is not 1. Why 100? Because we have, this is a sequential element, so we don't know how many cycles are required to initialize the value 0 at the input T. So as a general measure, it is taken as 100, it can be 1000, it can be 200, whatever. It is a standard number which is taken, which is much higher value than 1. so that it indicates that it is not propagated in a single cycle. And once you assume that depth value, you can assume it to be 100, 200, 400 or 1000. That should be uniform for all the sequential elements in the circuit. Okay. So here again, what is the drivability of fault propagation of 0 to 1? That is, 0 is applied at the input and it is going as 1. So as we did in the previous slide, that is going to be same as conditional controllability of A to apply input 0, which is nothing but 2 as indicated in the pink color. So this is we have already discussed. Now simply to see the drivability at C, simply the drivability of A will pass to C. So that is simply passing here plus a depth of 100. So be clear, for a combinational element from input towards the output, the depth added is 1. But for a sequential element, the depth added from input towards the output is minimum 100, which is taken. Okay. So it is taken a higher value. Are we clear on this also?
Yes, ma'am.
So we'll move next. So similarly, the drivability of 1 to 0 fault at C is going to be infinity only. So these are the simple rules. Now you can go through these rules so that we can solve a bigger example. So for any combinational gate, if combinational controllabilities are available, we can calculate the drivabilities. Okay. So this, if it is simply for any gate, if on one line I am going to propagate the fault, the other inputs, they should be set to a non-controlling value. Okay. And next is, if more than one path exists towards the primary output from input, जिस line पे fault है, if more than one fault paths are there, we will calculate the drivability on both the paths, but the minimum of the two will be taken. Okay. So using these rules, we are going to solve it in the next circuit. So I have reduced the circuit. So this is my simple circuit in which I have 3 gates and 1 sequential element. I am having the controllabilities available on each line and I have to calculate the drivabilities. Simply at point A, we have already computed, so it should be very clear to you that drivability of fault 0 to 1 should be 4, just as we discussed in the previous example of AND gate. Fault here is also stuck at 1. So अगर हम 0 input भी देते हैं तो वो stuck at 1 है, तो वो 1 ही propagate हो रहा है, तो इसकी drivability 4 है, that is equal to the combinational controllability of setting input A as 0. Same है. And the case that drivability of the fault setting to 1 and propagating as 0, it is infinity. Because ये हो नहीं सकता, ये possible नहीं है. मेरा A line is already stuck at 1, so it will not change to 0. So that is not possible. Now we calculate at point C. This you should calculate and tell me, any one of you, because you have done it for the AND gate just now. Please try it so that we have spent a lot of time on this small topic. जी कोई भी एक बच्चा बता दो. Anybody can tell me what is the drivability will get at C?
9.
Yes. And for 1 to 0 it remains infinity. Very good. Yes. Now we are having 2 paths in this case. One path is going through the gate G2 and other path is going through the sequential element F. Okay. So let's talk about the path which is through G2. Now the path G2, it is getting 2 inputs. That is, the fault is coming from A towards C and C towards the output of G2 at point E. So this is my line of propagation A to C and C to E. Okay, so what first requirement is, my D should be a non-controlling value for this OR gate. And what is the non-controlling input for OR gate? It is always 0. Yes? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
So this means one condition I require is D has to be set to 0. So setting D as 0 means it is going to take the value 10. So 10 has to be included, one thing, plus depth of 1 has to be included because fault is propagating from C towards E, that is from input towards the output. So I am very clear that I am having 10, that is CC0 at D, and 1. Now, what is the other thing? Fault is coming on line C. Fault kya hai? If my input from C is coming as 1, so my output is also going to be 1. Yes? ठीक है ना? क्योंकि D तो नॉन कंट्रोलिंग है, तो जो C का स्टेटस होगा that will go to E. So if C is 1, E is also going to be 1. If C is 0, E is also going to be 0. So the fault is going to be same. Whatever is the fault at C, same fault is coming at E. So the drivability of the fault applying 0 and getting 1, that is simply the drivability of this fault which is coming from A to C and C towards E. Fault हमने यही वाला ट्रेवल करवाना है, यहाँ पे कोई नया फॉल्ट नहीं लगा रहे हम. हमने क्या देखना है कि मेरा जो फॉल्ट ए लाइन पे आया है, ये आउटपुट पर जब जाता है तो मेरी हर लाइन पे मुझे कितना मुश्किल होगा टू प्रोपगेट दिस फॉल्ट टुवर्ड्स द आउटपुट. ठीक है, फॉल्ट कोई नया नहीं है, तो उसी फॉल्ट की ड्राइवेबिलिटी मैंने इंक्लूड की, दैट इज 9 which is coming at input C, 10 for setting the other input to a non-controlling value, and 1 for the depth for propagating fault from input towards output. So that gives me 20. Are we clear on this now?
Yes, ma'am.
हाँ जी, तो I have removed that NOR वाला लॉजिक, आप इसको समझ लो, आपको वो अपने आप आ जाएगा. ठीक है, so talking about the drivability of 1 to 0, since it is infinity at this line C, it is going to be infinity at E because that has to be added. So that will remain infinity. That fault is not good. There is no such fault coming on this line. So that is infinity. It is not possible to propagate that. So this path we are getting this. Now we talk about this path through the sequential circuit. Now, as I told you, sequential circuit, simply whatever is the drivability at the input line, that is C, that is going to pass at the output of this flip-flop, that is on line G. Okay, no conditional controllability is to be added here. Simply sequential depth of 100 is to be added. So what is the input drivability at C? 0 to 1, it is 9. So 9 plus 100, that gives me 109, and 1 to 0 के लिए infinity plus 100, that is infinity only. So this should also be clear to you. Should we move ahead? Okay, so now we are having drivabilities coming, fault is same, but fault is coming through this path A, C, E and F, and it is coming through the other path A, C, G and H. So fault is coming to my output from two paths. So what is the solution to this? As I told you in the rules, we are going to calculate drivabilities on both the lines, but we are going to take the minimum of the two in this case. Okay. So for drivability of 0 to 1. So 0 to 1, if I am going to calculate the drivability, what is the drivability coming from the path F? It is 20. So if I am assuming that F है the propagation path, तो मतलब मेरी G है जो वो क्या होनी चाहिए? G should be set to a Non-controlling value. Non-controlling value for OR gate is 0. So 0 ke liye it is 6. I think I've made a mistake here. So it should be 6, which should be coming here. So in this case, let me. So I just expand it. That should be simply controllability of setting 0 at. So I'll still take it down. So this is clear to you. At G plus 1 for the sequential depth plus drivability of this line coming from this. So that is 20. So that is 20. So that CC at G is what? CC, that is 10. So that gives me nothing but 10 plus 1 plus 20. So that gives out to be what? 31. Okay. So it is coming as 31 on this line. And if I talk about drivability coming from this line, अगर मैं मान के चलती हूँ F is non-controlling value and it is coming through G. So G पे D0 of 1 is what? 109, which is obviously higher. So taking the smaller value, I take it to be 31. Okay. Are we clear there on this? This should be remaining infinity only. Then a sum fault. This is infinity only. So I'm simply going to copy this. ठीक है? Are we clear?
Yes, ma'am.
ठीक है? मुझे अगर मतलब I've tried my level best. I've taken an effort example. With this understanding, you at least try it once. I hope it will be clear to you. So we are getting this. अगर हम 10 की बात करते हैं 10 दोनों लाइंस पे इन्फिनिटी है तो वो इन्फिनिटी ही रहेगा. तो इन्फिनिटी की कोई मिनिमम नहीं है, इसका मतलब वो आउटपुट पे भी इन्फिनिटी ही रहेगा. मिनिमम की कोई इसमें रूल नहीं अप्लाई होता. ठीक है. Now we have seen this. What is drivability? So whenever we are applying ATBG for any path, we have to check the drivability of that path for propagating from input towards output. Okay. But we have certain limitations of applying ATPG to the circuit through time frame expansion method. First thing is, we assume that it is synchronous circuits. That is, all the primary inputs and primary outputs, they are going to change on a clock only. So they are synchronized to the clock. So it is going to work well only for the synchronous circuits. Okay. Next, it is going to work well for the cycle-free circuits. What does the cycle-free circuit mean? This is a typical example of a cycle-free circuit in which there is no cycle formed when we form the signal flow graph. Okay, if F3 would have depended upon F1, it would have been a cycle. But here we don't have any arrow indicating transition from F3 towards F1. So it is an cycle-free circuit. So it is only good for an acyclic, or you can say a cyclic free circuit. For a circuit with a cycle, what is the problem? We'll go to the previous slide and see. Because अगर cycle free circuit में I know the number of time frames required is nothing but sequential depth of the circuit plus 1, where number of cycles or number of frames required to set the sequential element is equal to the sequential depth plus 1 cycle or 1 frame is required to apply the test vector. So we have a bound on how many time frames we are going to expand. But अगर वो एक cyclic circuit है, cyclic circuit का मतलब है मेरी एक sequential element की output दूसरे की input serve कर रही है. There is a loop between the sequential elements. Then what? Then I have 9 logic levels and n flip-flops. So I can go up to a complexity of calculating 9 raised to power number of flip-flops, time frames. So मुझे depending upon how many flip-flops are involved in that feedback loop, I can have this many number of time frames, which is very, very difficult and long. So it is not very healthy to use time frame expansion for cyclic circuits. And then for the asynchronous circuit. Now what we mean by asynchronous circuit? You first don't imagine this clock. The lines in the orange, kindly assume that there are no such lines. We have the primary inputs, we have the primary outputs. And okay, so it is a simply sequential elements. They are driven by a clock, but for an asynchronous model, primary inputs and primary outputs, they are not changing on a clock. They are asynchronous. So in that case, it becomes very, very difficult because we don't know how the pseudo primary outputs, this PPO and this PPI, how will they change with PI and POs, and these are going as input to the flip-flop. So I will not be in. I think connection is getting
हेलो
disconnected. Hello, it is connected now.
हाँ मैम, हाँ मैम आवाज नहीं आ रही थी मैम बिल्कुल भी पीछे।
वो एक्चुअली कनेक्शन टूट रहा था बीच में, वो प्रॉब्लम हो रही थी, 2 बार इट वाज डिस्ट्रैक्टिंग. सो
पिछली
फॉर
स्लाइड में मैम
एसिंक्रोनस
बिल्कुल भी मतलब
आप
ये
सुनाई दे
स्क्रीन भी
रही है
चली
क्या?
गई थी। हाँ 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 अब आवाज आ रही है।
सो इन द एसिंक्रोनस मॉडल में क्या है, आप ये ऑरेंज वाली लाइंस मत एज्यूम करो. एसिंक्रोनस का मतलब है मेरी प्राइमरी इनपुट और प्राइमरी आउटपुट्स एसिंक्रोनसली चेंज हो रही है, जबकि मेरा जो सिस्टम क्लॉक है वो सिर्फ सिक्वेंशियल एलिमेंट पे जा रहा है. ठीक है, तो उसका ड्रॉबैक क्या है कि मेरी जो प्राइमरी इनपुट जब होगी, अप्लाई होगी, तो मेरी ये सूडो प्राइमरी आउटपुट्स जो मेरे सिक्वेंशियल एलिमेंट को एज ए इनपुट जा रही है वो चेंज होगी. वो चेंज होगी तो इसकी स्टेट चेंज होगी. स्टेट चेंज होगी तो मेरी सूडो प्राइमरी इनपुट्स, ये वाली इनपुट्स चेंज होंगी. सो बिकॉज ऑफ द asynchronous nature of the input and the output, I don't know what are my pseudo primary and inputs and outputs changing. So that becomes very difficult to assume that what is the state of my sequential elements. So आप टाइम फ्रेम एक्सपेंशन मेथड उसमें अप्लाई करने के लिए आपको कुछ चेंजेस करनी पड़ती हैं, जिसमें आपको सिंक्रोनाइज करना पड़ता है अपनी पीआई को एंड पीओस को विद अ क्लॉक, सेम क्लॉक विच इज गोइंग टू द सिक्वेंशियल एलिमेंट, और एक फीडबैक डिले का element you will have to include. Why this feedback delay is included? This feedback delay, it is based on you have to take the number of cycles in which you are able to set your primary, the sequential elements before you apply your primary inputs. So wo fast model clock, so they are working on a faster model, so that requires a lot of complexity. आर वी अंडरस्टैंडिंग प्रॉब्लम क्या है? क्योंकि मेरी इनपुट एसिंक्रोनस है तो मुझे नहीं पता कि जो मेरी आउटपुट जब चेंज हो रही है वो फ्लिप फ्लॉप को कैसे चेंज करेगी. तो टू अप्लाई टाइम फ्रेम एक्सपेंशन मुझे उसमें अपनी इनपुट और आउटपुट को सिंक्रोनाइज करना पड़ता है क्लॉक के साथ, प्लस एक एडिशनल एलिमेंट ऐड करना पड़ता है. दैट एडिशनल एलिमेंट इज working on a faster clock model so that मेरी जो clock elements है उसकी मैं कोई वो initial state set कर पाऊँ. So that makes it very complex. So this gives me the limitations of the time frame expansion method, which is it may require a long initialization sequence. What does this mean? Consider an example of a 12-bit counter. 12-bit counter is there and assume उसकी 12th bit पे आपका stuck at 0 fault है. So to initialize, to go to that fault, you will have to go through how many cycles? See, and those many time frames would be required. और जितने time frames होते हैं हर किसी में मुझे input vectors लगाने पड़ेंगे. So for a circuit with a reasonable number of inputs also, it may require a long initialization sequence. Okay. Second disadvantage is it is not going to work on the 3 valued logic. It works only with the 9 valued logic. इसका मतलब है मेरे पास potentially detectable faults रहते हैं जो 0x 1x मतलब जो don't care की condition पे तो आपको बता सकते हैं कि शायद fault detect हो जाए, पर for a deterministic inputs that is 0 or 1 पे they are not detecting any fault. So that is a very big drawback, because in actual we will apply a vector of 0 1 or 0 1 only. We are not going to apply a don't care vector. Okay, so that is another limitation. Third is circuit modeling. It becomes difficult because we have to do the modeling of time frames. मुझे टाइमिंग की मॉडलिंग करनी पड़ती है हर फ्रेम के अंदर. उसका ड्रॉबैक ये है कि मैं हर टाइम फ्रेम में 2 वेक्टर्स अप्लाई, मतलब इनपुट वेक्टर्स अलग से अप्लाई करती हूँ. सो दिस में लीड टू अ रेस बिटवीन द एप्लीकेशन ऑफ वेक्टर्स. ओके, सो रेसेस एंड हैजर्ड्स दे कैन come up in such cases. इसका एक example we'll see further. Okay, cyclic circuits के लिए it is very very complex, as we've already seen. Depending upon number of flip-flops, the complexity can go up to 9 raised to power number of flip-flops. 9 is for 9 valued logic on which it works. And lastly, it is inadequate for asynchronous circuit, because वो asynchronous इनपुट और आउटपुट के साथ काम नहीं कर सकता. टू फिक्स अप this initial state of my elements, I have to make my primary inputs and outputs synchronous with the clock, plus I have the additional overhead of including a delay element. वो delay element तब तक calculate करता है clocks जब तक मेरा sequential elements फिक्स नहीं हो जाते, सेट नहीं हो जाते एक नोन वैल्यू पे. जब वो एक नोन वैल्यू पे सेट होंगे तभी मैं अपनी प्राइमरी इनपुट अप्लाई कर सकती हूँ, so that I get a deterministic primary output. So are we clear on how time frame expansion method works? What is the role of drivability? And what are the limitations of time frame expansion method?